Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here today on Tuesday, March the 8th, the year of 2022, with SurvivorCircle. The topic for today is going to be antis. There's all kinds of antis. There's anti-vaxxers, there's anti-this and anti-that, and anti-Putins and oh gosh. This seems to be an anti-everything. Anti-guns, anti-oil, anti-Trump, anti. And it's a lot easier to be an anti than it is to be a pro. Because if all you have to do is say, I'm against something or other. You don't have to explain what it is. You don't have to know what it is. You just have to be against it. It doesn't allow you any wiggle room on what you're doing. And I kind of I don't like things simple, you know. I don't like a yes or no checkbox. I like to get down and dirty with the topics and try to figure out what's going on, you know. I don't like to be necessarily anti anything until I understand exactly what that means. You know, if I'm pro anything, it's pro-choice. And more than that, I'm pro-life, you know. I'm pretty well pro-peace. I'm as difficult as it can be. I'm kind of committed to that. So all these things are what we're talking about, and I think a lot of that is the things that people want to make things too simple. You know, I like complicated subjects. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about something that is a complicated subject. Hi there, Maria. Glad to have you in with me.
Hey, can you hear me?
Absolutely. Quite clearly.
Okay, cool. Because I'm still back. Okay, there we are. I don't know what happened. We started and then
You got
it
bounced?
popped up and it said something went wrong. Sorry, try again. Here I am.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Hi. How are you?
So we're getting good grief. We got a full house already tonight.
Good.
We got Ron and Bobby and my son and
so I don't need to give any secrets out about you with your son on, right?
Oh, go ahead. He knows more than most.
This is probably true.
So we discussed this just a little bit, and really the article that caught my attention was about a school district in Orange County. Well, that could be California, that could be Florida, that could be Ohio. I think there's another one, but that I forgot about. But anyway, there's a school district that wants to start a program requiring an electrocardiogram, EKG, ECG, now I guess more often, for high school athletes. Because everybody knows that every year there's a few, thankfully a small number of kids that have cardiac events involved in sports. And I guess I'm going to say that just off the cuff, I don't know. I originally, it's not something that's affecting anything with me. And I thought, well, it may affect only a small number of people, but it's not that expensive these days. They can run an EKG on you from the truck on the way to the hospital. There's plenty. So there's every time, pretty much everywhere, every time you see an ambulance, that could be a portable EKG station. I looked it up, and they're running anywhere from $80 to $200 a pop. I'd like this. I'd like to think of that as cheap insurance. If it were my kid was the one that had the hidden heart defect that got caught and stopped because of this situation, I'd feel really bad that I passed up the opportunity. So, but then I also found some things about high school sports that have certainly changed since I was in high school or since my son was in high school. So, and that was the costs now. I knew they were going up. I've heard my nieces complain, and rightly so, I think. But I had no idea. The average cost per child for school fees to participate in a sport is $671. 2% of the families that reported in this poll, study, whatever, spend over $1,000 a year. That's a pretty good chunk. That's a pretty good chunk. Good question. Good point, gang. I didn't think about that. I don't know whether school nurses have that or not, but every football game has a EMT ambulance standing by. And like I said, all of them now have portable EKGs. So I think you could work out a deal somehow. The expenses, I'd like to say the expenses be damned, but they can't. That's not one of those things that can be really said. That's getting away from the issue, because the issue is I think part of the issue is these things shouldn't cost that much for a potentially it's a low incidence per student, but it's important, and I think it should be done. I don't think it. And that's me. So I'm the pro guy. So Maria's going to come in and give me the anti side of things now.
I'm good at that.
Well, hey, look, I picked this topic, but I didn't expect. I expected you to be on my side this time. Maybe we'll get these things set up a little earlier, and we can map out who's on which side. We'll pick something that we're on different sides next time.
We usually are.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, see, we've just proven that again.
We don't need a federal mandate. We just don't need any of that. You're poking the bear on this one, Charles. Just saying.
No mandates.
We don't need any federal mandates. The government doesn't need to be telling you that you need to be doing anything but not killing people and not robbing.
Well, how about?
We got laws for that, but Don't tell me how to take care of my health. Don't stop. Stop it. Mm-mm.
Okay, let's figure out a way to make this work.
No.
Okay. How about as a free voluntary program, if your kid's going to play, he's going to have a certificate from not no at a free. Here we're going to have the paramedics at a fire station next Saturday in August, okay, for the football team.
They already have
And
right now.
And you'll only hear the results if they're negative. I don't know.
They already have. When my son played football,
Or,
you
yeah.
have to have a physical every year, just a
Well, they
regular
had a
physical.
They had a physical when I played football too, but
Right.
it was 5 minutes with the old doctor, and truthfully, if I'd had a real physical then, I'd already been, by the time I had my physical, I didn't need a physical for track, but I'd already run track 2 years, and not terribly badly, but I was severely asthmatic and had been all my life.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't keep me from trying. And, as long as I had a good day, I was okay. But I probably should have been banned. So I don't know. I'm both ways on this.
Okay, well then let's take it a step further. Are we going to do cancer screenings on these kids too? Are you going to get somebody to do that for free? You wish, Andy. Just saying.
Is Andy trying to get a scheduled physical now?
Yes, he is. And he doesn't want me to just draw blood.
Kevin wants one too.
Oh, and here he is.
I don't know. I mean,
okay. Well, and that's exactly
exactly
what he was talking about.
I can find a figure on how many kids die every year. There's probably 10 times as many that they hit with a defibrillator and bring them back, But I'm thinking it's probably 40, 50 in the United States in any particular year in all sports that go down over this.
I'm sure. Well, maybe not. I mean, you can take your kids to the doctor and you can get physicals and you can have things done, and there's still going to be things that could be wrong with them that the doctors won't catch. And when I said something about the cancer screening, my son played football with a boy that ended up with prostate cancer, and he he was very swollen, and he was embarrassed to say anything to anybody about what was going on. So by the time he finally went to the coach to tell him he had a problem, it was too late.
Wow.
And he died 6 months later. So, but that's what I'm saying. Where do you stop? I mean, are you going to, you can't, I mean, you just can't do this. Are you going to make female athletes go through gynecology exams to see if they have cervical cancer or anything? I mean, we just can't do this. Because I would not, seriously, I would not have played sports if at age 8 that they'd have told me that I'd had to have a doctor down there looking. No. Even at age 14, 16, I don't care. No, I don't want it done.
any other country, any other first world nation on earth, I'd say you have those anyway. Your kids have a physical. You have a full physical. You have a cancer screening. You have an EKG by the time they're age 10 and continuously. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that sucks. That's embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. It is.
But nobody's in, people go, well, and that's between you
Mm-hmm.
and your doctor and whoever else, if what you do with your information beyond that point, who you tell, who you don't tell, is your own business, in those countries as well as it would be and should be in this country.
Right.
I don't, damn it, you work with sick kids way more than I do. Okay, you're far more knowledgeable about that kind of thing than I am, and it's a shame. It's a shame that these kids go untreated because it's always been that, just because it's always been that way,
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I guess, see, that's my pro anti thing. When I decide to go pro on something, I need to dig down into the details. I need to read the real studies. I know this thing has been around for a long time, but there have been full studies done on this for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
There was a study that came out of Florida where they did a test program. Exactly how they did that, I don't know. But they were in the entire state of Florida, I think they had 400 positive EKG or negative EKGs. Now, that doesn't mean all 400 of those kids were going to die, but they all had a treatable cardiac illness, and now they're getting treated.
But would they have outgrown it? Are these things
No.
that some kids outgrow?
In general, the arrhythmia seems to be the worst, which is an irregular heartbeat, okay, or an irregular order of chamber beat, okay. That is, it's one of those things that gets worse, okay, and it often crops up, in my experience, in men in their 40s, okay, where they had who was it? Was the long distance runner that brought about the whole Jim Fix or something like that, who suddenly died, boom, and entirely unexpected, no symptoms, and probably one of the healthiest individuals in the United States, and bang, he's dead, and it seems like, I don't know whether it's just being reported more now than it was before, or it's happening more, or both.
Here you go. Here's your good question.
Sure.
Would it be acceptable if it was a community vote? Would it be different for a private school?
Yes, it would be different. I guess. I don't know. I would rather it were like a league vote. You know what I mean? In order, your school has to qualify your athletes in this particular manner in order to participate in this tri-county state, authorization.
Correct.
That way it's fair for everybody.
Okay, so here it is. What if it is up to the parent to go get that EKG on their own, suggested?
Yes.
This is an option if you want to do this, instead of making it a mandate. I mean, there you go. Oh my God. let's not get the federal government into it. Let's leave it up to the parents.
Well, these particular places where it's being done by the school boards.
Mm-hmm.
By the regional school board or whatever.
Oh, of course. Let's get the school board into your shit a little bit more.
They can,
Charles,
hey, if they can tell me what to read, they can
you're trying to trigger me. Good thing the bourbon's still in the freezer. I'm just
oh, God bless those poor volunteers that are on the school boards. The shit they have to listen to lately.
I couldn't imagine. But I mean, that's something else. Leave it up to the parents. You've got kids that are going to school that can't afford lunch. Do you think?
I know. I remember.
And these kids play
very well, very distinctive.
I do too. And these are kids that can play sports.
Hmm?
But maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying, don't quit making it so damn hard.
Mm. Well, see, that's why I keep falling back. What the hell? Make it free healthcare till you're 18, or covered healthcare until you're 18.
Mm-hmm.
If you what a
lot of them already have that.
A lot of them already have, but not all of them.
No, but the ones that can't have regular insurance,
a lot of people
are under the state health free.
Yes.
All that stuff. So
or you're on a plan that has a high deductible and it's out of pocket. All those things are true.
Every bit of it, and it sucks. But I'll tell you something. I talked to Neutron this week. And they've changed their healthcare system, and it's ungodly now. I mean, you could be laying there dying and they don't give a shit. You're just going to have to lay there until you get a new doctor or whatever. So your socialized medicine's not doing you any good either. I mean, Andy.
That's Canada.
Look at what Andy had to go through.
That's Canada. If we were going to do it, we could sure as hell do it better than Canada.
No, that's with
Canada
everything.
has less people in it than Texas.
Yeah, this is true. But I'm just saying, everybody wants free this, free that. Who's paying for it? Me. The girl that's got a job, that's working 2 and 3 jobs to make it.
I'd rather pay for it to keep a kid alive than to bury him in a casket.
Exactly.
Because
that's up to the parents.
I can't buy, who's going to pay for it? How many? Okay, if this kid goes down and goes to the hospital, mm-hmm. and thank God they're able to bring him back.
Right.
When he comes back, is he number one? Is he or she going to be the same? No, not for a long time anyway.
So what
and
happens
number
if
two
they get in a
is
car wreck?
What's the bill then? Yeah,
they get in a car wreck. It's the same thing. Okay,
Absolutely.
So it's like you can put a bubble around them and you can do everything, but if I've got a child, and yes, it's awful, but John Ritter, he didn't know he had any heart problems. That man went to the doctor. I mean, if there's a choice between government paying for medical exams for sports or paying for food for students, let's go for the food first. You're exactly right.
I'm in on that too.
That's exactly right. Our kids need to eat. It's one of those things. Oh, Kevin. Yeah, I got to throw this one up here.
Yeah.
That's right. We would all live in love and good health and all that good stuff, but it just doesn't work.
One of these days, I don't know. I try to back away from things to the point where I'm objective about it. And sometimes you have to back a long way away, and you have to examine your own biases really, really deep.
Right.
And finally, you can get it down to where you can kind of wrap your mind around it. and see what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you break it down right to the bottom, or as deep as you can see, and there's really nothing you can do. It's just a part of that we're being a physical person living in this 3D reality. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you're
Right.
stuck with it. But if you break it down to the point where there's an action that you can either do or not do, I'm gonna try very hard to do the thing that's gonna make it a little bit better. Uh,
Okay. And I understand. I would absolutely love every child in the world to not have a health problem. And if we could stop them, we could stop them. Um, but it's, yeah, oofy. It's a moot point. So no one will be able to afford their commute. And I tell you what, it keeps going.
it's yeah.
But that's
Well,
okay. So
let
yeah,
them walk. It's healthier. Oh, oh, that makes me an anti on that one. It's it's. But anyway, following up when I got into this discussion on Facebook, by the way, I just said the word anti. Okay. In fact, I'll quote what I wrote. The benefits of a social movement may exceed the original intent of that group. Teens have dropped dead for decades at least. EKGs have become cheap, portable, and reliable. If the antis are responsible for this, then kudos to them. Even a blind dog can find a bone sometimes. Everybody assumed, or several people assumed, that I was insulting anti-vaxxers. I didn't say anti-vaxxers. I don't know.
matter.
I don't know why they assumed that, unless this is a new thing that, okay, what they're actually just kidnapping our kids to take them in and put electrodes on their chest and reprogram their DNA. What the hell? I don't know. I don't know what I do. I do not know. And I said, okay, I'm not going to go any deeper into this discussion. It's going to start an argument, and I don't argue
Yeah.
on other people's Facebooks.
Well, that's okay because already, what was it? The last thing I heard, I don't. I just quit listening to the news anymore. They were now. What is it? Oh gosh, Trump supporters are always called anti-vaxxers and Nazis and all this stuff, right? Now they're called Putin supporters. Just thought I'd throw that in there. It just
Okay.
kind of doesn't matter
Well,
anymore.
they did have the old lady in the 18-wheeler that said she was protesting because she didn't want to be digitalized. Whatever the hell that means. I get
it just okay. So again, here we go. Here we come down to this. Don't let me make my choice. What I want to do.
Yes.
If I want to do this, then I'll do this. Don't make it mandatory that the only way that I can live, eat, breathe, drink, have sex, whatever, is if I have a vaccine. Mm-hmm. Or some type of medical procedure, exam, or whatever that you say that you want me to have because you want to protect me. You're looking out for me and my health. Okay. Well, if that's the case, we wouldn't have alcohol, tobacco. We wouldn't have marijuana. We wouldn't have heroin. We wouldn't have cocaine. We wouldn't have any of that. See what I'm saying? It's like, just stop.
Well, I don't know. Nobody's done any studies that prove marijuana to be unhealthy.
It's not.
Uh, and some of those other things, some of those old natural drugs, they may screw people up. You know, anything from types of mold to mushrooms. You know,
Ooh,
and
mushrooms. Yeah.
a lot of those things were not outlawed because they were unhealthy. They were
they couldn't tax them.
They were outlawed. They were outlawed because they were enlightening. They
couldn't tax it.
Caused people to think differently.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
that's true.
There's a whole giant rabbit hole about that stuff going on, about the secret sects of the different churches that actually knew about this stuff.
Is that SECT or is that SEX? Which one?
From historical precedent, it's probably both. Oh.
No. Oh gosh. Kevin, no. You handle Russ. We're good. We're good.
Oh God, I love Oofy. Oofy always reaches into the heart of the problem. The problem is that in a normal political climate, a pandemic with some government help would have been welcomed. But the Democrats and Republicans are politically at war for all the obvious reasons. Mm-hmm. Yes, the war for power and the disinformation and twisting of reality on both sides has been horrendous. It's created divisions where there need not be any.
Right. You know? And that, I tell you, that one of the saddest things that I heard, Trump was president, the vaccines were going to come out. Mm-hmm. They were already talking about they were going to come out. Biden and Harris and Pelosi and all of them said, we will not get that vaccine. As long as Trump's president, we're not, or however
they didn't have to worry. Apparently they didn't have to worry.
They weren't going to get Trump's vaccine.
It wasn't available. Well, they did.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That was the dumbest thing because it was the same vaccine.
Yes.
When he was ushered in as president.
They didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater and then start over again on January 20th.
Exactly. You know? But that's the stupid shit that we deal with.
Oh,
and people eat it up with a spoon. And I'm just, anyway, back to what we were talking about before.
So tried to derail this a minute. Okay, back to the.
Oh, looky here. Marco's joined us. Hello,
Marco. Hi, Marco. Glad to see you here.
Rock stars here. Man, we've just got a full house, and we're just talking shit as normal. Yeah.
Well, we're teaching people how to talk shit.
I think we're going to have to change.
Without getting mad at each other, you know?
Not yet.
We can.
I'm just kidding.
What?
I will say, Charles, you have done so much better than you used to do. Used to. Oh, thank God it was before StreamYard.
I used to get a little bit wound up sometimes.
Just a little.
Well, I still do, but I'm learning to control it a little bit better.
Some days it works, some days it doesn't.
and I try to avoid topics that are particularly fresh wounds and incendiary. So, yeah.
Well, and you've stayed off of Facebook a little bit more than you used to. That helps. I kind of think we need to change the name of the show, Charles. It doesn't need to be SurvivorCircle anymore.
This is about. It's about all of us, okay. and then the techniques and the different viewpoints that work to help us all survive this situation that we're in.
Is that what it is? That's not what it started out to be.
It's always, well, yeah. Okay. actually, my original intent was something about how to better survive the big hits. Okay, cancer, heart disease, mental problems, up to and include depression and PTSD and all those things. There are techniques for those that can be spoken about very simply. I don't know how we got off to doing it, but then this whole COVID thing started. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a big thing. And a lot of the discussions were what to do, what was, but it always comes down to your own choice. Okay. I don't want to go on the record as saying, this is what should be done. No, it's not. You don't avoid certain topics, you just forget to engage them. Yes, that's true.
A lot of it we also had to we kind of had to get off of the negativity, because there was a lot of that going on. Mm-hmm. So then we had to kind of tone it down a little bit, just a little bit. And of course, it helps that my household looks like Little Molten House. Just saying.
Probably not you being your best self. So.
There's just sometimes that having no filter is a good thing.
Well, I used to rant a lot. And we're having trouble with an issue on Facebook. I don't want to do that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that jumped up there, didn't it?
We're going to have to try to get it back.
You kind of have to get away from the regular news. Yes, you need to keep up with your community, and yeah, you need to know if there's an asteroid that's going to come and kill us soon, which they're going to tell you that about weekly or monthly, depending on where you live.
As long as they're the ones selling the missiles.
Yes.
That's apparently the only possibility that they've come up with to stop that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So you just have to get away from it. Because people were dumping cats and dogs off left and right.
Oh, yes.
Because they came out with a story saying cats and dogs carried COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So they were dumping them everywhere. It's just it just blows my mind. They've got to come up with something. If they don't know the answer to it, or they can't tell you the truth about it, they come up with some kind of crap just to scare you. Mm-hmm. And people believe it, and it's awful. That's why I have a bunch of cats.
Fear is a great motivator. Fear will move mountains. Okay.
Right.
Real information and persuasion is harder. It takes more effort. Right. It takes more research. It takes effort to change your mind. And if I want to change minds, it's hard. It's hard to change something that someone has believed their entire lifetime, including me.
Yes.
But
that's something you have to do softly and slowly and very easy.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, and it takes a long time.
And it takes a lot of effort and engagement to do that. Mm-hmm. You can't just snap your fingers and change a viewpoint that you've had for 40 years. Okay.
Right.
It doesn't, you've got to go in there and stir those synapses in your brain around and reconnect them. And that's that actually takes
Mm-hmm.
physical energy.
Right.
Mm.
So takes a long time to, and the older we get, when you're growing up, you've got your adults, parents, people like that telling you
This is the way it is. And you take it then.
their opinions, and this is how they believe,
Yes.
and then you grow up believing that, and then you start hitting out there on your own. And a lot now, the bad thing is that when they're hitting college, they're not being taught what they need to be taught. They're being taught opinions. That's exactly right, sister. But for all the whining and complaining, if you can get up vertical and suck air and nobody's shooting at you, it's a good day. I don't know. Sometimes I think it'd be okay if somebody shot at me.
Oh, it's exciting.
It is exciting. It'd get that blood pumping.
It does. It does move the adrenaline around.
We need a little bit of excitement in our lives. Maybe that would do it.
Long as they miss. I've never been on a real battlefield, but I have been shot at, and it definitely gives you a jolt.
If I ever have, I didn't know it.
Well, actually, I can tell that story real quick. My brother and his son, and my son and I were canoeing down a little stream in West Virginia. And just as we came up on this bend in the creek, we hear crack, crack. So, dude. And we kind of held up for a while, and there wasn't any more shooting. And came in. That guy says, "Sorry, guys, I didn't see you. That's okay. We didn't see you either." And he was shooting at a groundhog on the other side of the creek down the way. And he wasn't shooting at us, but it certainly got my attention.
That's insane.
So, yeah.
It's a good thing it just got your attention.
Good old days. Yeah. Yeah. I'd hate it had to have a hole in that canoe. I like it.
Yeah. I tell you, finally the cats have settled down. I don't know if how much of them you could hear them earlier. Oh. Try to mute. So oofy, sorry.
But I guess the main thing I wanted to get through maybe is my message for today is it's easy to be against things, which is why there are so many anti this, anti that, anti the other.
Don't forget the cancel culture.
Anti whatever, yes, cancel culture. All those things. It's easy to be anti because everybody can get on board and be anti Putin, anti Trump, anti Rogan, anti this, anti that, cancel the other. And they don't need to really understand the depth of the situation, all these, I was talking to one of my nephews. And he said, "Well, you're anti-gun. You're one of those left guys. I said, "No, I'm not. I'm definitely not anti-gun,
Right.
But there are a lot of people that consider themselves antis who I'm not comfortable seeing them handle a firearm only because they're stupid and untrained. Okay. But that doesn't, it's not that simple a cut and dried measure to me.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And that's just one of them. And I'm really one of the more simpler ones. You know, I want us to be as free and as self-determined as we can possibly be,
Mm-hmm.
and still maintain a functional society where
Right.
kids are fed, and you can walk down the street without being in fear. I don't think that's too much to ask. I think we're
This is
capable
true.
of that.
We are, but nobody will leave us alone.
Well, see, maybe that's why it's that way. We need to be shocked out of our comfortable existence from time to time. Maybe that's it.
Mm.
If we were in a world where everybody agreed with me 100% of the time, I'd be so bored. They always had this picture of heaven where they're all sitting around happy and playing their harps, and I'm going to do that for eternity. I don't think that you haven't thought this through.
No. We're going to have to get some sports or bowling or something.
That's why I'm more comfortable with the reincarnation thing. I'll come back and
do it again.
Have a do-over of all the things I screwed up next time.
Oh yeah.
I'll forgive myself.
Could somebody bury us with a list or something so we don't come back and do the same stupid shit again?
The contract? Oh, those are on the hidden addenda to the contract.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think I've said before, the last time I came in, I said, I got this now. Piece of cake. I can do this with one hand tied behind my back.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it seemed in that hidden part of the contract was the thing I had to learn was humility. Mm-hmm. to find out that I couldn't really do it with one hand tied behind my back.
Well, that's true. Maybe next time I'll come back rich instead of so damn good looking. I'm just kidding. I had to say it. Sorry. You were getting too serious. I had to lighten it up just a little bit. But anyway. Anyway. It's been a good show, Charles. We've done
I think it has been a very comfortable show. I think we succeeded in our mandate to keep laughing,
I guess,
to have a good time,
to
not get pissed off, and to kind of keep the conversation open in a fashion that is good for everybody.
Yes. Yeah, we try. Yeah. We try. And I try to settle down and not try to trigger you so much anymore. But yeah, Yuffie, you're right.
Yes. I said, I'm trying.
Yeah, I said trying. Oh, yes, Ron, you are so right. Art Radio will still be here, and Russ will be trying to go figure out his equipment. You're exactly right.
I don't know. I hope.
Oh, and congratulations to Russ because he's a new daddy again.
Ooh.
He's a daddy again.
Wow.
So, yeah. So maybe whenever his life settles down.
I was gonna make a cornhole joke there, but probably not appropriate. Oh,
That's true.
obviously have just been playing cornhole.
Right. 9 months ago. So, but anyways, yes. So congratulations to Russ and his wife. And this one has a big sister ready to go. So
Very, very.
mhm.
Ah. Well,
Russ working overtime.
your granddaughter has a big sister too.
Yes, there's 15 years difference between those two. So
Whew.
but I know that feeling. I've got a half sister that's 22 years older than me, and then a sister that's 13 years older, and a brother that's 10, and then there's me. So that's what's wrong with me. It's exactly what's wrong with me. It's exactly.
Oh my! No, I would say.
I was the baby, and the big brother was jealous because
Mhm,
baby sister got stuff he didn't get, but
mhm.
there were
You think?
3 of them at that time.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. They were all in the house at the same time, so the resources were distributed entirely differently back in those days, as opposed to
That's right.
you know,
And my
when your time came.
oldest sister had already started having children. So my
Yeah.
parents were grandparents, and then I was
So,
born.
do you have nephews and nieces that are older than you?
I have a nephew
Oh,
that is
yeah.
3 years older than me, and a niece that's 7 months older than I am.
Oh my!
7 months. So mom and my sister were pregnant at the same time.
Oh
That's
my!
creepy. It's creepy. But anyway, try not to think about that. But I was a great aunt at age 16. So, and I've been a great aunt for a long time now.
Mhm.
And it won't be long before the 3 greats will be in front of that. Yeah.
It does give you a sense of it. Does it's? I don't know, because I've got some greats, great greats too,
Mhm.
and and I love them just as much as you know. As much as I did my own kids. So
Well, you know,
I feel with the shit that I've gone through in this life, I'm just glad I'm here to see it.
mhm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And see, a lot of my nieces, greats,
Mhm.
that's not a side of the family that I've ever seen very much anyway.
Mhm.
So I don't get to see them. We talk rarely, but I mean, it is what it is. Life
Yeah,
takes you in different directions. And
yeah,
when you've got that big of an age difference between it, it's hard to keep up.
sure.
But, you know, I've got my one son, and he's married and
Mhm.
got a stepdaughter, and now is a new daddy. And I'm the grandma. Grandma.
Oh.
Phew. But well, that's just how it is.
You're going to be you are being an excellent grandma.
So far, she's just a week old. We'll see.
See, it's easy. Piece of cake. You'll have her spoiled in no time.
Right. Oofy says, Maria, do you live in one of those towns, regions where everybody's related? Thank God, no. Well, they're not related to me. I moved into a place like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. They're not related to me. None of them.
I'm trying to,
All of my relatives. If I go see family, I'm traveling at least an hour and a half to 2 hours before I go see any of them.
Sometimes I wish it were like that.
Yeah, I kind of like it. Kind of like it.
Oh, some days, not most
Goals.
days. Yeah.
Goals in life. I don't think I've ever lived any place close to anything. Relatives, work, school. I think I've always had to travel a pretty good bit. I guess that's why I hate driving so bad. I hate like going on vacation and having to drive 8-9 hours to get to the beach because I'm in a vehicle 3 to 4 hours a day, depending on where I'm traveling.
Mm-hmm.
And to work, it's a haul, but it's okay. I saw this, Ron, and I know what he's talking about, and I was going to look into it a little bit because I don't know how they could do that. That'd be a good K question. Good question for me to ask Kevin.
Hey,
Kevin.
yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
We'll have to leave a little space for that one down the road. Because I don't know anything about that stuff.
I
Gosh.
was trying to say something about that.
The
Historical Society was trying to take away the sanitarium up here in Louisville, Waverly Hills. I don't know how Historical Society can take anything away from you. There's something weird about that, so I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah, Waverly Hills.
Okay.
I've not been there. I've driven up to the gate. I wasn't going to pay that amount of money to go in.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. That story just didn't make any sense to me because they have owned. That's been privately owned for many, many years now. So.
But if they took the money and the low interest loans because of as a part of a historical society or something like that, that can get you into trouble.
It can, but I don't know if they've taken. That's why I've got to look into it. I don't know if they've taken money. I wouldn't think that they did.
Yes,
because they were talking about turning it into a hotel at one point. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I had kind of this conversation with someone just a few weeks ago, and I said, "Oh, that's a really nice building. You could probably get some help with the, through the historical society and get it declared a historical site, because of its background." Right. And they said, "No, that's not necessarily a good idea."
Right.
So I'm just guessing that might be what
it may be, and I've got to look into it a little bit more. And of course, yes, Yuffie, you're right. They will make you, if that's what you want to do, to take money from them, you can. I mean, and I absolutely love these places that keep these homes, the colors that they're talking about, and decoration. I mean, that's great history right there. But I don't think they can take over and take it away from you. I don't know what that whole story is. So that seems a little over the top there. And will I remember to find out any information about it? Probably not. It probably just right after we hang up here. Because I think Kevin's going to have a playlist for tonight if I can download it. Yeah. They're all at work. I didn't bring any of them home. So, anyway.
Well, actually, I think there's a little program that runs on your computer that makes Post-it notes. The only problem is if I started using that, I wouldn't be able to see the rest of my screen.
True.
Or any screen whatsoever. I'd be looking around the notes, trying to figure out what's going on.
Hey, they're doing that here now, Yuffie. The modern stuff. And the black and white are the only colors allowed. So yeah. There's a lot of black and white houses coming up around here now. Yeah. So,
well, I remember hearing about someone who painted a house in historical Williamsburg because they didn't use Williamsburg blue. And we're talking, it was blue. It was light blue. But because it wasn't Williamsburg blue, they made him repaint.
I don't doubt it.
Excuse me?
If they're footing the bill, yeah.
With my eyesight, I can't even tell the difference between the two paint chips. Oh, no. We must.
I guarantee they got somebody out there to check it.
Yes.
Guarantee it.
It's obviously someone with better eyesight than mine. Better color distinction, shall we say.
I wonder what Maria did with the money. Well, they asked me that and asked me what I did with the bodies too, but I don't answer them.
Money? Darn right.
Can't give away my secrets.
Money.
Got secrets. Money she got for the new camera. I got secrets, dude. I can't tell my secrets.
Well, let's see.
I think it's just a better internet connection or better lighting, because usually I don't turn lights on.
We've done our contracted hour.
We have.
We've
Yeah.
introduced some new topics and kind of thrashed through the topics that we wanted to. So I want to thank everybody for being here. It's really been great having you here. It's nice to have an engaged audience. And we'll try to come back with something else to say next week, huh?
Yeah, we'll try. Not promising anything.
Okay. Good night, folks. It's been fun.
Bye, guys.
Bye.